In colonial times, many different vulnerable populations were oppressed. Certain populations were treated poorly and unfairly. These vulnerable populations included women, Native Americans, and African slaves. Women were oppressed during these times for various different reasons. Men were seen to be superior to women, so men had a say over women. Women were supposed to obey their husbands and take care of the household. Women were expected to do things such as cook, clean, and make clothing. Women were seen to be weaker than men. This included being weaker physically, intellectually, and morally. Most women didn't receive education, so they weren't literate. Men dominated the workforce, so women were very limited in the things they could do economically. If they had jobs, they did things such as be domestic servants and midwives. Women also didn't have as much legal protection as men. For example, it was harder for women to get a divorce than men. Native Americans were another group of people that were oppressed. Columbus and his Spanish successors controlled the Native Americans in a variety of ways. They took most of the produce they grew on their land. They were forced to do labor and they were treated harshly. They didn't have the resistance to the many diseases that Europeans brought over, so native populations started to decline. The Europeans looked down on them because of their skin color. They saw them as less than because of this. African slaves were another group of people that were oppressed. After Columbus discovered the New World, slavery was much larger than it ever was before. Europeans imported a large number of Africans to the New World to use as slaves. They had to do things such as build roads and take care of crops. The working conditions these people had to go through were harsh and degrading. Women, Native Americans, and African slaves were all oppressed in a variety of ways, and these are just a few of the ways they were treated differently.